What if I told you that you could trade your actual convictions, right? The old argument when you're at Christmas dinner with your uncle or your brother talking about how, oh, JD Vance is going to be the next president of the United States. Or let's talk about the idea that maybe, Logan Paul's Pikachu Pokemon card is going to sell for over $10 million. You can actually trade your own convictions, the events of the world, live on Kalshi. It's a real thing. You can actually predict and try to trade the temperature of Miami today. I don't know, there's a bunch of college football. What else you want? You can make predictions on pretty much everything. You've got politics, you've got sports, you've got culture, you got crypto. You can predict the price of Bitcoin at 12 p.m. Eastern. What time is it right now? It's 11 o'clock. Should I make a prediction? There's so many predictions, there's so little time. I'm gonna dive into the Kalshi website here and talk about how it all works, the idea of trading your convictions in the market. I know it sounds crazy, but everybody's always got an idea, right? Everyone's always like, there's no way that Trump's gonna buy Greenland. Or maybe you think Trump is going to buy Greenland. You can trade that. I know. It's such a crazy idea, but think about it. You have all these different markets to trade. You got the mentions market as well. We got Bernie Sanders talking later on. Do you think that Bernie Sanders is going to talk about immigration? Guess what? You can trade that. Let's talk about it. If you're interested in learning more about Kalshi and what I'm looking at, check out the link down below. They actually have an app as well. You can sign up, use the code PW, get $10 when you sign up and deposit $100. So you get a $10 bonus. It's Kalshi. Check it out. Look at this trade right here. I made this trade a couple weeks ago. The idea that will anybody be charged in the Minnesota daycare fraud scandal? Well, I wouldn't say 100% sure. I was pretty confident that no one would be convicted in the Minnesota daycare fraud scandal before February 1st. So I bought the no shares for 79 cents, and you can see now they're trading for 93 cents. So I'm already up 11 cents on that. If nobody gets convicted, I make $1. The way that Kalshi works, think about it like this, right? You've got two different options. Do I think that anyone will be charged in the Minnesota daycare fraud scandal before July 1st, 2006? If I believe so, I can buy the yes for 69 cents. When I win, let's say if I buy $100 worth, you would see I get paid out $141 with a 69% chance. So the way that works is every share is basically worth $1. You have the no, you have the yes. When the market closes, once this resolves by July 1st, you would have that set up there. Think about Kalshi and the shares as basically always equaling $1. If you pay 20 cents, you would then make 80 cents on that trade. Now, obviously, not every market is going to be easy and simple. It's trading. We're getting in, we're getting out. You can also sell this. So right now, if I wanted to sell, I can close my position. So I click right here, I go to sell, and I have 124 contracts. If I go ahead and sell my position, I would make a $16 profit off of this trade. Obviously not a massive move. I only put $100 into it, walking away with $16. And at the time that I bought, it was already at 79% chance. So the odds were already really skewed towards the idea that nobody would be convicted. Sometimes you're kind of looking for different markets where there's maybe better odds or different odds in a sense that, how can we look at this? So like college football championship, we got Miami versus Indiana, 20,000 shares of yes. You can see here, I am basically trading this idea that I believe that these shares of yes for Miami to win the college football championship, I'm trading this with the skew that if I pay 26 cents for these shares, I might be able to sell these shares during the game. So I can go and put a limit order if I wanted to and try to sell some of these shares. Now let's say if I get 50 cents here, I would then make a $4,800 profit. So I don't actually need the game to even finish, but a lot of times during the game, you might see big swings in the up and downs here on these yes and no contracts. The other day when I was trading, it was San Francisco at Philadelphia, and you can see how the actual odds for most of the game, San Francisco was trading around 25%, and at one point it went to 50. So if you would have bought these 25, you could have doubled your actual investment just in about a 10-minute period when those odds started moving because San Francisco made a move. And then what's funny is it actually pulled back. It then broke out and then pulled back and got to a point where by the end of the game, it was basically a 50-50 chance. And well, you can see San Francisco ended up winning. So I bought the yes for San Francisco to win. I bought it for 42 cents, I think was kind of what I got in for, and then got out obviously for the full dollar once that closed. And I walked away with $1,000 profit there. So there's a lot of different markets. You've got the sports sports market, you've got something like this. Who will visit Mar-a-Lago before 2027? The funny thing is, let's say you're so convinced that there's no way that Mark Zuckerberg is going to go to Mar-a-Lago this year. Well, you can actually buy the no. If I pay 84 cents for the no that Mark Zuckerberg is not going to go to Mar-a-Lago, if it ends up by the end of the year, bang. What's funny too is you have this portfolio, so you can see some of my positions. Bought the yes, who will lead Venezuela at the end of 2026, and I went in on Delcy Rodriguez. We've got here the US GDP growth in Q4 2025. I bought the yes contract, so I paid 68. There's 69. You can see kind of where I'm at, the overall gains and what we're sitting at. So it's kind of like this long-term portfolio as well, right? You're not only just trading every day, like is there going to be a winner of the game, but you can also kind of look for opportunity to get in when you think something is low value. Like this, for example, will Trump buy at least part of Greenland, right? Will he? Well, guess what? You can actually trade this. So I bought recently the 41 cent yes. So I paid 41 cents or 42 cents for 238 yes contracts. And you can see just recently the big move in these contracts. So just the other day, they were trading for like 25 cents or 20 cents and now up to almost 40 cents there. As the market is moving, you can actually sell, you can trade, get in, get out, buy the dip. If your conviction is strong, if you believe that Trump will buy Greenland at some point, well, guess what? You can trade it on Kalshi. You can use the code PW, sign up today, get $10 bonus when you sign up and start trading events, start trading the mention market. Same thing, I traded Trump's signing ceremony. He had a signing ceremony where he signed some bills, and you can see here, I was buying that he would say Biden or he would not say credit. I also bought the fact that I believed that he would say the word Greenland during his speech. I bought 1,000 shares, ended up making a profit on those. I think it was like 78 at the time, so really high chance. So sometimes you're kind of not always looking for the craziest odds. You're just looking for something you're like, there's a really good chance that he talks about this. I actually bought the no contracts, believing that he would not talk about Somalia during his signing ceremony. Paid $1,000, made $400 in profit. Here, again, I predicted that he would not talk about the Supreme Court, made $220 on that prediction, and then trillion. Would Trump say the word trillion during his speech? Which, yes, I believed he would. And guess what? I put $346, walked away with $500, 153 profit, which is funny because I was really annoyed. I bought that Trump would say his own name during his signing ceremony speech, and you can see he didn't talk about his name. So during that whole trade, I made $475 trading what Trump will say during his signing ceremony. And it's all live as well. You can trade during the speech. The odds will be going up and down based on what he's talking about, what his overall kind of composure is, and also what is the speech about. Sometimes he'll have a speech where he's talking about infrastructure, or he's talking about, this speech was talking about milk, which is funny. So, there were words that were dealing with milk and all that, but there are definitely people out there who are specializing in this mention market. I also have a bunch of mentions for Jerome Powell in his January press conference. So there's 100 different markets, maybe thousands of different markets. You got, like I said, you can actually trade right here. What is going to be the highest temperature in LA today? Well, you look at the weather and you predict and you say, hey, 75 to 76 is what I believe the high will be in LA today. You buy the yes. If it only goes up to 75 to 76, well, guess what? Bam, you just made some profit. Kalshi, it's popping. I think this is the future of trading, at least socially. Everybody's going to want to get in on this action, the mention markets, event contract trading. It's happening on Kalshi. If you haven't already signed up, use the code PW, get a $10 bonus when you sign up today with a $100 deposit. Bang, bang, bang. Kalshi, let me know. What do you think?